Every morning, you wake up to face thousands of micro-decisions that will collectively shape your entire existence. What to wear, what to eat, which route to take to work. These seemingly insignificant choices accumulate into the grand narrative of your life. But it's the monumental decisions that truly keep us awake at night. Should I relocate to chase new opportunities, or remain rooted in familiar territory? Do I follow my creative passions, or secure financial stability? Which relationships deserve my investment, and which have run their course? These pivotal moments arrive without warning, demanding that we somehow predict an unknowable future, while weighing countless variables that resist quantification. We find ourselves standing at life's crossroads, desperately seeking the correct path forward, as if one magical choice could unlock permanent happiness and fulfillment. Throughout your lifetime, you'll navigate approximately 800 million decisions. Most will be forgettable, choosing between coffee or tea, selecting which podcast to play during your commute. Others will fundamentally alter your trajectory, creating ripple effects that extend far beyond your imagination. Each choice represents a gateway to an entirely different version of yourself, a parallel universe where alternative possibilities unfold. This responsibility can feel crushing, particularly when the stakes seem highest. We desperately want to optimize our lives, to make choices that minimize regret and maximize satisfaction. Traditional decision-making wisdom encourages systematic analysis, create detailed pro and con lists, calculate potential outcomes, consult trusted advisors, listen to your intuition. Notice how your body responds to different scenarios. Does one option create tension, while another brings relief? Yet anyone who has wrestled with truly difficult decisions knows these methods often fail us. The fundamental problem with pro and con lists becomes immediately apparent. Not all factors carry equal weight. Having 12 advantages and 6 disadvantages doesn't automatically make one choice superior to another with 9 benefits and 3 drawbacks. What if one of those drawbacks involves life-threatening consequences? Clearly, some considerations matter exponentially more than others. This leads us to attempt quantifying the unquantifiable. How do we assign numerical values to abstract concepts, like happiness, purpose, love, or personal fulfillment? How do we weigh immediate gratification against long-term satisfaction? These essential life elements resist reduction to simple mathematical formulas. Our culture perpetuates a seductive myth that perfect decisions exist, waiting to be discovered through sufficient analysis and wisdom. We believe that choosing correctly will lead to good outcomes, while poor decisions inevitably result in suffering and regret. This binary thinking creates enormous pressure and sets unrealistic expectations for what any single choice can accomplish. Reality presents a more complex picture. Many significant decisions offer roughly equivalent potential for both positive and negative outcomes. Multiple paths may lead to different but equally valuable experiences. The fantasy of the obviously right choice often dissolves under careful examination, leaving us to navigate genuine ambiguity. From one perspective, every decision we make is fundamentally flawed. Regardless of what we choose, challenges, disappointments, and suffering will inevitably follow. No decision can eliminate the basic conditions of human existence: uncertainty, mortality, and the constant need to make new choices. As long as we remain alive, anxiety and doubt will persist, along with the tendency to second-guess our past decisions. This realization might seem discouraging, but it actually offers profound liberation. We place impossibly high expectations on ourselves and our choices. We demand that our decisions not only solve current problems, but also prevent future suffering, an impossible standard that sets us up for disappointment. German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer offered a provocative perspective on managing life's difficulties. He suggested viewing existence as inherently challenging, rather than expecting continuous satisfaction. When we adjust our expectations to match reality, acknowledging that struggle and discomfort are normal, rather than aberrations, we can respond to difficulties with greater equanimity. Existentialist philosophers provide additional insights into decision-making under uncertainty. Jean-Paul Sartre emphasized authenticity over correctness. Rather than seeking objectively right choices, he advocated for decisions that honestly reflect our genuine values and interests. Sartre criticized what he called bad faith, making choices based on fear or distorted self-perceptions rather than authentic self-knowledge. Søren Kierkegaard introduced the concept of passionate commitment despite uncertainty. He argued that we can access our authentic desires through intuitive understanding, then must take a leap of faith toward what personally feels meaningful, even without rational guarantees of success. Albert Camus and Friedrich Nietzsche addressed the inevitable consequences of our choices. Both acknowledged that our plans and projects are ultimately futile from a cosmic perspective, a recognition that might initially seem depressing. However, both philosophers found ways to embrace this absurdity. Camus developed the concept of revolt, not political rebellion, but philosophical rebellion against meaninglessness. By acknowledging life's absurdity while simultaneously refusing to surrender to despair, we can find joy, despite uncertainty. Nietzsche's concept of amor fati, love of fate, goes even further, encouraging us to embrace everything that happens, including difficulties and disappointments. He wrote about wanting nothing to be different, not just accepting necessity, but actually loving it. These philosophical insights suggest that effective decision-making requires a delicate balance. We must take important choices seriously, while simultaneously accepting that no choice will perfectly resolve life's fundamental challenges. This paradox, caring deeply while holding lightly, represents a sophisticated form of wisdom. Consider this alternative approach. Instead of desperately seeking the single correct choice, focus on making authentic decisions with integrity and commitment. Rather than demanding certainty before acting, develop comfort with ambiguity. Instead of expecting choices to eliminate future problems, prepare to navigate whatever consequences emerge with grace and resilience. Every reasonably made decision contains elements of both rightness and wrongness. The same choice that brings tremendous joy and growth will also involve sacrifice, missed opportunities, and unforeseen challenges. Conversely, decisions that initially seem disappointing often lead to unexpected benefits and valuable learning experiences. While we wrestle with life's major decisions, we shouldn't overlook the cumulative impact of smaller, daily choices. As philosopher Will Durant observed, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. The person who exercises regularly, maintains meaningful relationships, pursues continuous learning, and takes care of their physical and mental health, is actively choosing their future self through countless small decisions. These everyday choices often feel more manageable because they seem less consequential individually. However, their collective impact frequently exceeds that of major life decisions. The daily choice to nourish your body properly, maintain curiosity and compassion, engage with challenging ideas, and treat others with kindness, creates the foundation for whatever larger opportunities and challenges emerge. Traditional thinking categorizes decisions as successful or failed based on outcomes. This perspective creates anxiety because outcomes remain largely beyond our control, influenced by countless factors we cannot predict or manage. A more empowering approach focuses on the quality of our decision-making process rather than specific results. Did we gather relevant information while avoiding analysis paralysis? Did we consult our values and long-term vision? Did we consider how our choice affects others? Did we act with courage when courage was required, and prudence when prudence was appropriate? These process-oriented questions help us evaluate our choices based on factors within our control. This shift in perspective transforms mistakes into learning opportunities. When decisions lead to unexpected difficulties, we can ask, what can this experience teach me about myself, my values, or effective decision-making? How can I apply these insights to future choices? This approach builds resilience and wisdom rather than regret and self-criticism. Perhaps our most powerful tool for navigating life's decisions is our capacity to create meaning from whatever circumstances we encounter. This ability transcends any specific choice we make. Regardless of where our decisions lead us, we retain the power to find purpose, beauty, and value in our experiences. This meaning-making process involves several elements: accepting responsibility for our choices without becoming paralyzed by perfectionism, maintaining openness to growth, and learning from unexpected outcomes. Cultivating gratitude for the opportunities our decisions create, even when they're different from what we anticipated. developing resilience to navigate challenges with grace, and staying connected to our values and purpose, regardless of external circumstances. Every moment of conscious life places us at the intersection of past and future. We cannot undo previous decisions, nor can we perfectly predict future outcomes. We exist in this narrow space called now, where all our power actually resides. This present moment is where we can choose how to respond to whatever circumstances our past decisions have created. This perspective offers tremendous freedom. Instead of ruminating about past choices or anxiously trying to control future outcomes, we can focus on responding to current reality with wisdom, compassion, and authenticity. We can choose to move forward with integrity, regardless of how we arrived at our present situation. Ultimately, making decisions in an uncertain world requires courage, not the absence of fear, but action despite fear. We must develop comfort with the discomfort of not knowing whether we're making the right choice. We must learn to trust our ability to navigate whatever consequences emerge from our decisions. This courage grows through practice. Each time we make a difficult decision and then handle the results with grace and learning, we build confidence in our resilience. We discover that we can adapt to circumstances we never anticipated and find meaning in experiences we wouldn't have chosen. The resolution to the paradox of choice isn't found in making perfect decisions, an impossible standard, but in developing our capacity to live fully with whatever decisions we make. When we embrace both the seriousness and ultimate insignificance of our choices, we free ourselves to act with authentic commitment while remaining flexible enough to adapt as circumstances change. This balanced approach allows us to engage meaningfully with life's decisions without being crushed by their weight. We can pursue our goals with dedication while accepting that the journey may lead somewhere entirely unexpected. We can make choices based on our best understanding while remaining open to new information and possibilities. In the end, the quality of our lives may depend less on the specific decisions we make and more on how we approach the decision-making process itself. When we choose with authenticity, respond to consequences with grace, and remain committed to growth and meaning-making regardless of outcomes, we transform decision-making from a source of anxiety into a practice of wisdom. The choices you make today will indeed shape your future, but not in ways you can fully predict or control. What you can control is your commitment to making those choices with integrity, handling their consequences with resilience, and finding meaning in whatever journey unfolds. This is perhaps the most important decision of all, the choice to embrace life fully, with all its uncertainty and possibility.